Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So we're back at the flip house again this morning. And last video we were actually prepping for paint. So in the meantime, while the painters have been here, I've been working on some odds and ends. I got the garage door opener working. Got a little bit of stuff cleaned up out there. I've been working on installing vanities. So I got both bathroom vanities. It's not set in place yet, but it's got my all my holes drilled and it's ready to be installed. I've got countertops coming next week on Tuesday, so I'm trying to get everything prepped for that. But as you can see, the painters are done, and I think it turned out really good. All the trim is nicely cleaned up. We went with kind of I don't know how this looks on camera. This color is, sometimes it looks a little bit yellowy, but it's kind of in the that tan beige family. Wanted to make sure I had something that went good with the hardwood, so when I refinish these, I'm just going to go with, a natural color, and I think that works out pretty good. Might get a better idea back in this room where the light's a little bit different back here. But anyway, painting's all done, and I'm glad I hired that done. I was able to work on some things while these guys knocked it out and just kind of kept me moving forward. The other reason why I went with this color, grays are super popular now, but I did not want to retile or do anything with the tile in here, and obviously these bathroom tiles are kind of dark in here, but I don't have a light, are in the, the brown family, so I had to have a color that would work with this bathroom. So I think this color was a pretty good, kind of a middle ground for what I wanted to accomplish. So again, got that vanity cut into place. I'll show you what I've been doing downstairs. Oh, I should mention too, down here, the painters, I had them paint all the foundation walls, so the block is all cleaned up and white now. It's a lot brighter down here, actually. The one thing that I do plan to do yet is I plan to paint the floor down here, and that'll really clean all this up and just make the basement a whole lot more inviting. Just do a gray concrete paint. But anyway, I've been working away down here in this bathroom. So this wall over here, I think I mentioned this in the other video, but I had to move these outlets over. So the way this was before, it had a real short vanity, and there were outlets and switches right above the vanity in a place that my new normal height vanity, the vanity would have come right up to the switches, and there wouldn't have been any way to get a backsplash in there. So I ended up tearing out that whole back wall. Some of it was kind of in bad shape anyway, so I tore out that back wall. I just shifted all the wires over, basically, installed a new box, and then I've got everything obviously taped and mudded. And there's wallpaper, what do you call it? Just like a strip of wallpaper around the top. Can't think what you call that. So I went ahead and just mudded that in to just kind of have this bathroom all cleaned up. So I'm about to hit this with a second coat, and like I said before, my countertops are coming on Tuesday. So today's actually Friday, so I need to hurry up and get this all ready for counters. I'd like to actually be able to throw a coat of primer on this at least, if not paint too, before they come and do countertops. Obviously the vanity's got to be installed. So, and then once I remud that or hit that with a second coat of mud, what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be starting on is this kitchen. So I got an email this morning from the supplier that I'm getting my doors from, and they are being painted now, or in line to be painted, and they expect those to ship next week. So that's going to be my next major project here. I'm going to work on stripping all these doors off. The doors and drawer fronts will all be new and replaced. So I'm going to get those out of the way. And then what I need to do, for the most part, these cabinets are in pretty good shape. But what I'm going to do is just give a light scuffing to the face frames, and then I'm going to put a coat of paint. I actually have the paint code that the company that's doing my doors, I've got the Sherwin-Williams paint color that they're using on the door, so I'll pick up that same color for my face frame, and then everything will be nice and fresh and white. So I'm gonna go hit that bathroom downstairs with a second coat of mud, and then I'm gonna start tearing this kitchen apart. All right, so I'm gonna start pulling these doors off. When I ordered these replacement doors, so the company that I got them from, and I can't remember, I will have to look, it's like, I don't know, cabinetdoors.com or something like that. But anyway, you can order them either just the doors themselves. You can get them with the hinge pockets already drilled in, and you can get them with hinges actually installed. So what I did was actually get I got them with the hinge pockets drilled in, and I'm crossing my fingers. I took some measurements based on what the website showed. It looks like the hinges, this hinge placement is kind of a universal placement, I think, for a lot of cabinet manufacturers. So I'm gonna leave the hinges on the frames. Actually, you know what? For purposes of painting these frames, yeah, because I'm gonna paint these frames. Maybe I actually will end up pulling these hinges off. I probably will. But anyway, my hope is that these hinge locations actually line up with the doors that I bought. It's probably a long shot. You know, there is some adjustability in these hinges, so I'm hoping that they're close, or that most of them are close enough I don't need to do a bunch of re-drilling. That would make installation of those new doors much, much easier. So we will see when those come in next week. But yeah, since I'm going to be painting these frames, I'm just going to go ahead and take the hinges off the frames, and then I'll get them on the floor, and then I can strip all the hinges off the doors once I get them down. All right, guys, so here's where we're at. I got all the hinges pulled off all the doors. It's a lot of doors when you start stacking them up. I've got all the boxes vacuumed out. I need to wipe them out. They're dirty, as you can see. There's a lot of grime on here. I've got to clean these frames all up before I even think about trying to paint. If you've seen the other videos in this flip project series, you know this house was pretty dirty when I got it, so lots of cleaning to do. But anyway, so I need to clean these cabinets, or the face frames, and then I'm going to give them a light sanding. And then I've picked up the paint from Sherwin-Williams today, which is just their base. I found out it's just their base white. It's basically their color base that they use for all their mixings. So they had that on the shelf, and I grabbed that, and then I'll get these rolled in. So first step is to get these frames cleaned up, frames and bases, and I'll get everything cleaned up before I do anything else. And I think I'm gonna leave, I started pulling the drawer fronts off. As you can see, here's what it looks like with the front off of there. But I'm gonna wait until I get the new ones to actually take all the rest of them off. As you can see from the dirt line, they're centered left and right, of course, but top to bottom, they're not actually centered in that drawer. So I'm just going to use these old ones for kind of templates to measure. It actually sits. You can see from that screw hole, that front actually sits a little bit lower on the drawer front itself, so, or on the drawer itself. So anyway, I'm gonna leave the rest of those on. I'm not gonna pull those off until I get the new ones. So I've got good templates, and hopefully make my life a little bit easier and a little bit quicker to get everything installed. Oh, and you know what? I need to take that microwave down too. Got a new stainless one coming. All right, so like I mentioned before, I'm using this Sherwin-Williams. It's the Pro Classic, and it's their basic white paint. I'm going with semi-gloss. And it's quite a bit. It seems like it's quite a bit whiter than what this original factory color of these cabinets was before. So definitely glad I'm doing this. Otherwise, my new doors that are coming in, I think, would probably look out of place against these, you know, much duller white frames. So I'll just go around and I'm just doing the face frame and then the inside of the frames as well. Careful not to touch any of the wood color. And it shouldn't take too long. Alright guys, so we got the face frames all painted up. Everything turned out really good. I ended up only having to do one coat actually, and I couldn't see any benefit of doing a second coat because they turned out really nice. I got the guys here today installing the granite. And you know, it's always a tough thing when you're at the shop and you see all the slabs up on the rack to decide what color, but I think we got a good one here. I'm really happy with this. So we'll let these guys do their thing, get everything installed, cut in, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what the final result looks like. Same color for the bathrooms, by the way. So square sinks, I'll show you. Here's what they look like before they go in. These guys are prepping them and they're basically just cutting in there the hole for the faucets right now. All right guys, time for an update on the kitchen upgrade here. So I've gotten a few things done since I shot my last clip. I've got VCT flooring installed in the entry, in the kitchen. I actually did downstairs as well. And I'm at the point now where I'm ready to get these new cabinet doors installed. And been waiting for them very impatiently to come in, and they finally arrived. Very well packaged. Here are a bunch of drawer fronts. You know what? Actually, this whole box, no, that whole box is drawer fronts. That's not where I want to start. I did pull, there's one of the doors right there. Let me grab the right box and I'll show you these doors. All right, this is the one that I meant to grab. Everything's really well packaged, and I'm very happy with what I got. So these are MDF doors, but they're very, you know, if you hear MDF, you think, oh, those might be kind of cheap. These are actually really nice doors. We've got a nice finish on them. I had them pre-drill the holes for the hinges, and instead of getting hinges from the door company because they're quite a bit more expensive, I just ordered these. Actually, these are off of Amazon, and I think these were like just over $1 a piece. Very inexpensive. And these are actually self-close hinges too. So I'm going to go ahead and start the process of installing these. I did pop this one up here the other day just because I couldn't help myself. I had a handful of hinges. I just wanted to check and make sure that my alignment as far as the holes that they drilled were going to align with my original hinge holes on the cabinet boxes. And so far, that first one, they line up perfectly, so that's good news. This one here is obviously not soft close. I need to get bumpers installed on that, but all the rest of these are going to be soft close, so I think it's going to be pretty nice. So I'm going to start the process of getting these hinges inserted into the doors, and then we'll start hanging. So these hinges, they've got these I don't know even what you're going to call them. It's kind of a plastic, rubbery plastic little plug, I guess, that goes into these holes. So all I'm doing is putting them in place, taking a rubber mallet, and they fit tight. It takes a little bit of force to get them in there. There you go. So I'm just going to go ahead and build all these, install all the hinges, and I'll start hanging doors. All right, guys, figured I better do an update. I've been working away here, and as you can see, well, two things. As you can see, I've got most of my cabinet doors installed. I just have a couple, and everything is working great. I wasn't sure when I ordered these if my hinges and everything would line up with all the factory holes. And except for this kind of oddball pantry cabinet here, which I'm going to have to drill 3 holes in the frame to get that to fit, everything else has fit perfectly. So I'm really happy about that. And as you can see, while I was working, the delivery company actually showed up and I've got my appliances in, so that's cool. Got my fridge in, everything's hooked up, the range is hooked up, got the microwave hooked up, so the only thing I have to do yet is the dishwasher, but I'll wait and get these cabinets taken care of first. So I'll just show you here real quick how slick it is to throw these hinges on, and then it's going to be time to transition to the drawer fronts. And like I said, when I ordered these, honestly, I did not expect that everything was going to line up. I figured that was probably too much to ask, but apparently all these cabinet and door manufacturers use fairly standard measurements. When I ordered them, I think there was a question, I know there was a question about placement of where to put the holes for the hinges, and I think it's like 3 inches from the top and bottom, something like that. And looked like on my cabinets that's where they lined up, so I crossed my fingers and went for it, and it's been, like I said, it's been a lot easier than I originally anticipated. So now that I've got these on, we'll have to see how difficult it's going to be to do these drawer fronts. I don't know if I'm going to come up with some kind of a jig or what process I'm going to use to get these all squared up. So obviously this has to be taken off. You can't see that. So this drawer front here, I just got one on there, but this is what your basic drawer looks like. So that drawer front needs to get screwed to that, or screws come this way, I guess I should say. So there's the doors, soft close hinges, and they work great. All right, guys, I can't remember exactly where I left off on the last video. I think I had my doors installed, and as you can see, I've got my door hardware installed. I've been waiting to do the drawer fronts. I think I had told you about that, and the reason was that I needed to get some screws. The old drawer fronts were just a flush face, and these are actually recessed. So the screws that I had before would have poked out, out the recess. So anyway, had to get some 7/8 screws, so I've done that, and actually I have them all pretty much installed. I just want to show you the process that I came up with to do these. So what I've done is, first of all, I pre-drilled for my drawer hardware. It's a lot easier with the jig that I have. It's a lot easier to do it from the back because because it's flat. When you've got this recess, it makes it a little bit harder to be precise. So anyway, got my holes pre-drilled. What I've done, you can see here, I actually pre-marked the center of my drawer box, and I'll show you the way that I'm basically centering this up on the drawer itself. So what I've done, I figured out that my gap from the top of the drawer box to the top of the drawer front is 1 inch. So I just cut myself a little 1-inch spacer, and I'm just taping this to the back. All right, so that holds my spacer in place. Now I just need to find the center, 12.5, so 6 1/4 is my center. I've already got the center of the drawer box marked. So now, I just place this, so I got my center marks lined up. Clamps on here so that everything stays nice and tight, so when I run these screws in, the drawer face doesn't want to move on me. All right. So once I have it clamped, just throw some screws in. So that's the process that I'm using, and it's worked really well. So there you go. So now I just need to go around, and I just used a tiny drill bit when I pre-drilled these, so I need to drill those out to a bigger hole, throw my drawer hardware on, put some bumpers on the back of my new drawer fronts, and this kitchen will be done. All right, so that is it. The kitchen remodel is finished. Got my fronts on, all my hardware's on. I really like using this, I don't know, kind of bar style hardware. I think it just looks kind of classy. My soft close hinges are nice. I think this countertop turned out nice too. It's always kind of hard, I don't know, I find it hard to pick a granite that is affordably priced and still, you know, looks good with everything. And I think just with the, you know, the bronze fixtures and, you know, the gray floor and the hardwood and wall color, I think it all comes together pretty good. So I'm happy, glad to be done with that. So next, actually, while I've been working on this, I've actually been working on redoing the hardwood floors. So stay tuned if you want to see the video on me doing the flooring as well. So at this point, I'm really close to being done. I've got some final odds and ends that I need to get finished up, and we're gonna be wrapping this house up. So stay tuned if you want to see the final product. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.